jobs are you doing total at the moment?
Oh,
No.
I don't know. It varies year to year because some jobs are every 2 years.
Right, I
Some
see.
go in 4 times a year. Some just go in once a year. So it depends, and a lot of clients, depending on I guess what's going on with them, might skip a show. Like they might not have the funds for advertisement that year to do it, so they'll skip
Right,
it.
okay.
So yeah, depends really.
Okay, so if you had to guess, like just on a monthly basis, number of builds, would it be sort of more than 10 or
Probably like
less?
2 or 3, I'd say.
2 or 3. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, cool. And do you work worldwide, or is it just in the UK that you build?
Worldwide, yeah. Well, we build everything in the UK, but we build it here, ship it out to wherever it's going, and then fly our crew over that have built it over there to set it up, build
Okay.
it like up, and then some will either fly home, the rest will stay for a stopover in case something happens in the show and they need to be there to fix it, and then we bring
Right,
it
okay.
back down, ship it back, and put it in our storage, which is on site.
Ah,
That makes
brilliant.
sense.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you mentioned that you're in your manufacturing facility now. So you have like manufacturing, storage, all that kind of stuff, do you?
Yeah.
Ah, okay, fantastic, fantastic. How big's the business, if you don't mind me asking, in terms of employees?
Well, employees, we only have there's 5 or 6 of us because all the carpenters are all self-employed pretty much.
Ah, right, I see. Okay, so you work with a
Yeah.
lot of contractors then.
Yeah, because that's the way that it works in this industry, like in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
But they all
yeah.
they've all worked here for a long time. Like it's the same
Okay,
people, but they're
right, I
technically
see.
self-employed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess it makes it much easier for you on the HR side of things that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And why is it that you kind of wanted to jump on this call? What was it when I called you that kind of sparked your interest?
I think I know that you said about it being for stand design, but I think that
Mhm.
it could work for us as in like manufacturing as well, because like if our direct clients that we have now, we are obviously back and forth on conversations about what they want it to look like, and then we work with a stand designer who lives in Cornwall, and like backwards and forwards with him, and he changes it and stuff like that. So it's all still like part of it, but I think it could still work even if they already had a stand designer, us still doing it. You know what I mean? Like
Right, okay.
either way, because when we've done basically in the past, when we've been like you said, people wasting their time like looking at who's exhibiting at the show and then emailing them, and then people don't really want to speak to you because they just think you're like talking nonsense and they're not bothered because it's a year
Yeah.
until they next do it. So we've tried all that, we didn't really get very far, did we?
No.
But just people
Right,
don't
okay.
just like spamming them, or it's like not interested
Right,
at the time,
okay.
then forget about you.
Yeah. So it sounds like you do have the capability then in-house to do the entire project from
Yes.
So
sort of
yeah,
design to build, and you're now looking at kind of expanding into that. Is that right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, fantastic. So what is your process at the moment for getting new clients?
Word of mouth, really.
Word of mouth.
Right, okay. And you mentioned that you tried some kind of outreach before, but it hadn't worked. Can you tell me a little bit about that, what you did there?
Well, we actually
Just show walking.
we actually went
We
to a
went
show
show walking.
and handed out cards and had a chat about, obviously you could see the person stand in front of us, had a chat about that. But I think because the person you're speaking to just works for that company, they're not necessarily the right person to speak to. But even when we did speak to the right person, if they were there, they were like, oh, we're in a contract for 3 years and we've just started it. So they're basically saying, come back in 3 years' time.
Yeah, right, okay. And what kind of shows would you want to target then, if we did start kind of running these campaigns for you?
Any really.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter because we do kind of any shows. We do museums, but we don't really want to do any more of those. And then we do
Right,
like
okay.
fitting. So there isn't anything in particular that we go for or not. Everything is
I mean,
different.
obviously the NEC is ideal for us because it's local, so
Yeah.
we can come in more competitive with the NEC.
Like price wise.
Right, okay, cool. So yeah, you don't target any specific industries then?
No. No,
Okay,
we literally
all
do
right.
everything.
Brilliant. Well, do you mind if I show you then on a screen share how the system works that we build for the other companies?
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Let me know if you can see my screen here.
Yeah.
Get off my calendar. There we go. So essentially how it works is you would give us a campaign that you wanted to work, and you can see all of the campaigns that we've got set up here for one of our clients, and we would then set up a load of email accounts for you, as you can see here, and start sending out emails to all of the people that go to these shows. So what we do when you give us a show, we'd go on that show's website, we'd find the floor plan, or we'd find the exhibitor list, and then we've got different AI tools and software that we can use to scrape the company names from the web page, and then find the relevant decision makers at those companies. So your marketing managers, your marketing directors, all the people that you need to be speaking to. So if I click onto the installer show here, you can see that this is what the kind of list of leads would look like. So we've got the person's email address, we've got their name, we've got their job title here. And we also get their LinkedIn profile link as well for the LinkedIn side of things, which I'll show you afterwards. And then we just send out, email sequences to these people. This is what they look like kind of raw at the moment. It's a little bit messy looking because we use a lot of syntax, so kind of randomization of words to avoid the spam filters. But you can see on the preview that this is pretty much what an email would look like. And this just appears as a regular Outlook email in their inbox, indistinguishable from a real email sent by a real person. And you can see that with the way that we word it and everything, it looks very sort of personalized, and if it couldn't have been sort of AI generated, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if I go back to the campaigns, you can see some of the results that we're getting. So opportunities in the right is meetings booked. And you can see that since we started running campaigns for Generation, and since the start of this year, we've sent just under 10,000 emails out for them, and we've had 39 meetings booked for them. If you're wondering about the dollar figure there, we just assign a monetary amount per meeting, depending on their close rates and their average sort of asking their average contract value, so we can keep track of how much value we're providing to them. So that's the email side of things. Have you got any questions there from anything I just showed you?
No.
Don't think so, no.
Okay, fantastic. Let me show you the LinkedIn side of things now then as well. Have I got there? Right, bear with me. Let me just go onto the LinkedIn account so I can show you that. Okay, here we go. So then on the LinkedIn side of things, it's a very similar process where we build out the campaigns for the shows that we're targeting, and then we automatically send out. So if I click on ICE here, we build out these sequences, and this all happens again automatically. So the AI will like one of their posts, and then it will send them an invite a day later. If they accept that invite, it will send them a message. And then if they don't respond, it will send them a follow-up message a couple of days later. So you can see, and again, we can also manage these inboxes on our end to reply to these people on your behalf. Same with the email as well. All of the replies would come into this Unibox here. So you can see these are all the people that have replied interested. If I change that to everybody, the AI detects whether somebody is interested or not based on the context of their reply. So if somebody comes back as not interested, then automatically they're added to a do not contact list. So you're protected from any kind of GDPR or PCR requirements that way. And if they are interested, then we get notified straight away. We also notify you guys straight away through an automation. We can even send you a WhatsApp message as soon as a new lead comes through, so you can get onto it straight away. Or if you're busy and you'd prefer us to reply for you from our end, we can do that for you as well and actually set the meeting for you in your calendar. And it's a very similar process with the LinkedIn as well. So you can see from the campaigns that we're running for this recent ICE one, we worked our way through 265 people's profiles. 115 of them accepted our request, and then 26 of them responded to our message. So 10.3% response rate, which is really good. And of course, some of those would be saying that we're not interested, but we did still book several meetings from that campaign as well.
Mm-hmm.
So again, any questions there on your end?
Yeah, the only thing is, say at one of those shows, we are doing a job for an agency that's already at the show. We don't want to be contacting their client that we're doing the job for, because then the agency we're working with is our client. They think we're undermining them by directing their client directly, if that makes sense, and that could cause us to lose the job that we already have.
Yeah, completely understand. So whenever we scrape that data for you, you would just give us a list of the clients that you're already working with, and then we'd just take them out of the sequence, so they'd never get contacted.
Yeah, because that could be a big issue otherwise, to get us in trouble.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. Yeah, because obviously you are going to scrape some pre-existing clients from the shows that we target. So yeah, we make sure to take those out for you. And also with the LinkedIn and the email side of things working together, I mean, first of all, it's a really, really good system to have those two working in tandem, because that way you're hitting people across both platforms then. And we find that you're much more likely to get a response that way, because somebody might see an email from you and not reply, but then a few days later get that LinkedIn message and think, you know, these guys contacted me a few days ago, actually, let me get back to them now. So yeah, it's a really good synergy there. But we also make sure that if somebody, say, responds to your email campaign that they're interested and they want to meet in, they'll automatically be taken out of the LinkedIn campaign and vice versa as well, so that they're not getting double messaged if they've already come back to you that you're interested.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
So I'll also show you dashboard as well, just so you can get a bit of a sample size and see that it's working for more than one stand designer. Again, very similar process. It's basically the exact same thing. And you can see that since the 1st of January for these guys, we've booked 27 meetings for them and sent out just over 9,000 emails. So what's your close rate at the moment on meetings? If you get a brief and you get a meeting booked in?
Well, we don't do that many direct to probably have a on that.
So really.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So obviously most of it's coming through agencies, so
they've already got the job by the time they want us to do it, if that makes sense.
Right, I see. Okay. I mean, from the other clients that we're working with, we're seeing around a 30% close rate. So just under 1 in 3 meetings that they sit will result in work for them. So if we're even if we take it on the low end and say that we are kind of scheduling you 5 meetings a month, and usually we're scheduling sort of 8 to 10. Even if we take that low end at 5 a month, that's still 1 or 2 new clients for you every single month. So what kind of prices are you charging on your jobs usually? Are you going sort of high end, or are you more on the lower ticket side of things?
No, we're on the higher end, really.
We've been told.
Right, okay.
The agencies tell us.
The agencies tell us every time.
Right, so you're providing the luxury.
The quality's higher, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
A lot of people in our industry are like, just thought smash it in and but
right, cowboys.
We're not.
Yeah.
We, you know, it's our finish is good, our quality's good.
Yeah.
So really, we'd probably target the higher end shows, which is dentistry,
banking shows. We've done
banking shows, Cybos, that sort of thing, really.
Yeah.
You know, your spring fairs and those sort of shows aren't really.
They're not really money makers.
You haven't got the quality stands on them for the budget, really.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. There's different shows have different expectations, I suppose. Yeah.
Because the agencies that we do work with, like, well, we kind of had a backwards compliment the other last year, didn't we, with Sonos, but basically saying like, oh, we chose you to do it. They said because you're local, but what they meant is because they knew it was going to be good quality, that they wouldn't have to worry about it 'cause it was a new client for them. So
good. That's good feedback.
What we do get is good higher end stuff, to be fair, because they know it's going to pull through right till the end.
Okay, so I'm guessing, you know, one job for you guys could be worth upwards of sort of 50-60 grand then in that case.
That's like a small job, really, isn't it, for us?
Right. Okay.
We just did 2 in Barcelona, and it was like 400k.
Oh wow, okay.
So
right, okay.
We do like a big one every 2 years. For Munich, that's a direct one.
The biggest one we do is about 650.
Wow, okay. So we really only need to get you one, and we've more than paid for ourselves then in that case. Okay, so I mean, look, you've seen the kinds of volume of emails that we're sending out and the kinds of response rates and replies that we're getting. So do you feel like this approach is something that would work for you?
Yeah, it's down to cost, really. The cost is obviously.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so we charge 2,975 setup, and then it's 1,200 a month on a rolling monthly contract from that point on.
Right. Got that. Sorry,
I'm writing it down. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. That's okay.
2,975 setup and 1,200 a month rolling contract.
Yeah, after that point. And that setup covers your first month as well, so it's not the setup and then plus the 1,200 after it. Yeah.
Okay.
Then say that we did that and we were like 4 months down the line and we don't think it's working for us. What's the situation then? Do we just message you and say, can we stop, and that's that? Yeah,
pretty much. I mean, I'm pretty confident that won't happen.
No.
You know, fingers crossed. We've not had a client cancel on us yet. We've been going since February of last year, and we've still retained every single client along the way. Because at the end of the day, you know, if you guys aren't making money, then we're not making money. And with the types of volumes of emails that we're sending out, we only really need. I know this industry. There's a lot of money in this industry. I used to work in events myself. So really, we only need to be getting 1 or 2 jobs minimum for our clients, and like I say, we've paid for ourselves. So I'm pretty confident that within the first few months we would more than cover our costs for the year, because that's how it's gone with the other businesses that we've worked with as well.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Well, even if we had 2 decent sized jobs a year, would
okay.
Cover the costs. Yeah.
So would you like to go ahead with this then?
Well, I think we'll sit down and have a talk about it.
We've got to speak to accounts.
Jane, who's accounts, but she doesn't work Fridays.
Right. Okay.
So we'll have a chat with her, and then
because we have to
we'll come back to you if that's okay.
Yeah, no problem. Is she the purse holder then?
Yes, definitely.
Right. Oh, I see. Okay.
But if we leave it like that, and then Whitney will get back to you when we've had a chat, really.
Yeah, no worries at all. I mean, I'm happy to put everything that we've talked about in an official proposal and get that over to you, so you've got all the details as well.
Thank you.
But I mean, at this stage, you know, what are your guys' kind of thoughts on it? How are you feeling about what we've discussed here?
I
think it sounds good, but I think it's one of those things you kind of just have to do and try, and then for so long, and then you just think, oh, you know, come to a point to be like, oh, what have we, you know, got from it? Like, I know that you're telling us about it, but
of course, the proof of the pudding is in the eating.
Exactly. To make sure it's working for us, but I guess we won't know until we're at that point. So, but the whole idea of it sounds good, because it's like you're not chasing the person out. It's being done for you, so you don't have to write, oh, I didn't email them, blah blah blah, which sometimes is
exactly.
It's like having a silent salesman in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's what we say on our website. We build AI employees for companies in the events industry because essentially this is what it is. It's an AI sales rep that is going out there sending emails for you 24/7. And the way I would kind of explain it is that if you did actually hire somebody to do the job of literally non-stop sending out emails to people 24/7, then would you expect to get work from it? You know, obviously, yeah, at some point. And we basically do that for you. Another thing I wanted to show you as well, actually, while I've got you, is the rates of emails that go to people's inboxes. So we're very careful in the way that we warm up our emails. So you can see 96.4% of the emails that we send out go to people's inboxes and not their spam folders, which is pretty much as high as you're going to get when it comes to cold email. Recently, Google and Microsoft, they changed up a lot of things around how their spam filters detect, automation and things like that. So we're very careful when we set up your domains that we make the activity look as human as possible, so that there's no way that they can tell that we're doing this on an automated basis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The only other thing I just thought of, on all of our emails, at the bottom we have like a signature thing. So would that go on there as well or not?
It would, yeah. So we can set up your signature on the accounts. That's fine.
Yeah, because obviously we have on there that we're like an ESSA partner and stuff, so we want that to come across for like new people to see, because it looks good.
Yeah. Okay. What does ESSA stand for?
It's the event.
I don't actually know what the individual thing is.
I don't know what it actually stands for, but it's like a body you join to show you like a professional outfit and not just.
Oh, okay, I see.
Not
just one of those industry accreditation things.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Okay. I don't actually think it's worth the paper it's written on, because you can just, you can just join.
Oh, okay.
Just join. So anybody can join it as long as you want.
You have to pay them to join.
£100 a month. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
You don't get anything back from it. You just get the little ESSA logo on your signature.
Which in fairness we've got now. So
yeah.
But you don't get anything from them.
No.
You don't get any.
Well, it's supposed to be. There's supposed to be like a monthly or yearly magazine booklet thing, and if you're part of it, you get some announcement in it or shown in it. But we've never been contacted.
No.
Right, okay.
I mean, it's said that like clients look at it, so you're in an accredited member or something.
Like a Traffic Trade thing for.
But from my side of it, I don't see anybody could join. You know.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
From his garden shed.
Could be some.
Yeah, it sounds like I could sign up for it.
Yeah, totally. So it's not.
Yeah.
They don't come out and check you are a professional outfit and you've got the gear, and so I don't really know.
You are, yeah.
Right. Okay.
It might mean something, but to us, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't see what it's benefiting us, to be honest.
Okay, fair enough. So, just out of interest, because obviously, if we are booking you, sort of, 5, 6, 7+ meetings each week, and you are able to land those clients, do you have capacity at the moment to take on that extra work?
Yeah. Obviously, we would need to give you a list of shows we want to target, really, and times in the year.
Yeah, of course.
Like, if you said to us January,
no,
we've got no capacity in January.
Right. Okay.
In March and April and May, we're probably out, but so we just need to look at what we were targeting, really.
I guess for that time of year.
Beginning of January, we couldn't fit any more work in.
Yeah.
Right. Sure. Okay.
We did really want to show at ICE, didn't we? And then we went up there and realised actually we're way too busy in January. There's no way, because they're all pretty much all in Barcelona, so there's literally like no one actually here.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. I see.
So we would have to look at the calendar really of when we wanted to. Target.
And when have you found is kind of the best time frame to contact people?
I don't know really.
Because
Because even if what we found out recently, even if someone is with like an agency and they're in a contract for 3 years, whatever, by year 2 they might not be happy and just cancel it anyway and pay the consequences and just find someone else.
Yeah.
So
I see.
there's no like right answer for it.
No.
It's not like people get to a certain point and think, oh, we'll look at changing. It could literally be like, oh, they're happy one minute, they're not the next. So they want to find someone else.
Contracts tend to run on a 3-yearly thing for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. The agencies seem to win these jobs for 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because the way that we
like that, like knowing that you're having it till at least 2 years or 3 years, especially like for us because we're storing it. Because obviously we have like a storage cost once it's stored. Then that's quite nice to know that you are gonna be doing it, because then sometimes with the smaller jobs you sometimes say, don't you, I'll cut down on the cost of storage, like just to keep them sweet if they're going to do it for 3 years.
Right, okay.
So,
do you ever build in the US as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, one of my other clients was telling me about this thing called drayage, and it sounds like an absolute scam. Is it really as bad as he was saying?
Yeah,
it's like 60 grand to move stuff in and out of a warehouse for the forklift, or bloody hell.
Saying that, sometimes the here can be as bad.
James said Sonos was $70,000.
Yeah.
Blimey.
And then you have to have, most states in the US, you have to have like local labour.
Mm-hmm.
So we do a job out in Vegas, so you have to have one-to-one labour.
And
if we take 10,
expensive.
they supply 10.
Right, okay.
And they're like quite expensive, aren't they?
They're not very good, to be honest. And they're at the moment, well, they get double time and time and a half and all that out there, but their normal rates $130 an hour.
Which is a lot more than what our guys are getting paid.
Well, that's what the union charge. That's not what the bloke.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's all union rules, see. So.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because it's like the Teamsters, isn't it? The ones that were kind of mob affiliated.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, going back to what you were saying about
work out in the States,
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Excellent. Yeah, because we can target shows all over the world. That's not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to what you were saying earlier around kind of the timing and the scheduling of everything, when we set up the sequences, we set them up so that people are getting, a couple of emails on the run up to the show, say 6 months out. Then they might get an email just after the show saying, were you happy with how the stand build went? Were you maybe looking to change for next year, something along those lines? And we just make sure that we keep kind of nurturing people throughout the year at these strategic intervals, because you know what they say, it takes like 7 touch points before somebody buys when it comes to sales and marketing. So we think that we do a good job of kind of skirting that line where we're contacting people often, but not often enough that they report you as spam. And
be annoying.
Yeah, we annoy them. Yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
What should we say as next steps then? You need to speak to the accounts lady.
Yeah.
Gemma,
and if you send Whitney through like a proposal,
then we can sit
down and talk about it.
We'll probably
to be honest, we're out Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, aren't we? So it'll probably be about Thursday till we sit down, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we'll come back to you.
Yeah. No worries. Well, if it's going to be Thursday, then should we just schedule a quick catch up for that Friday, and then you can kind of let me know either way. Let us have a chat Thursday, because
then I can let you.
Then I can get Jane involved in the call, but obviously she don't work Fridays, and then Whitney can schedule another meet up with you. Yeah, okay, sounds good. All right.
Yeah, because she'll have a million questions to ask you.
Yeah.
Right, I see. Okay, fair enough then. Yeah, well, we'll have a follow-up call. I'm happy to kind of show her the system as well, if she wants to go over it again. And hopefully, looking forward to working with you guys going forward.
Okay, that sounds pretty good.
All right, thank you both. Great to meet you.
Right. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Hi.
Hiya. Hiya, who are you with?
This is Jane.
Hi.
Sorry.
Jane.
I didn't
Hi,
mind.
Jane.
She does the accounts. It's our accounts lady.
Okay. Fantastic. Can you both see and hear me okay?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So, Whitney, what brings you back into my calendar?
So me and Rob had a chat obviously after our conversation, and then I'm sorry, we were really busy. That's why he's not
No,
here
that's
today,
okay.
because he's on a job. And we thought that it would be quite good for us, like just to try.
Yeah.
And as you said, we can, if we're going along and we think, oh, it's not going to work for us, or something else comes up, then it's something that we can just stop, like have the conversation with you and stop. So we thought it would be a good idea, and then obviously we have to run everything past Jane 'cause she's accounts, so she actually has.
And I also own half the company.
Yeah, and
okay.
And I'm Rob's wife.
Yeah, so she
I
has.
see. Okay.
She has the final say, really, on whether we're allowed to do stuff or not. So we tried to explain what it is, but it's quite hard to explain, isn't it? So I didn't know if you wanted to quickly run through, and then you can ask if you've got any questions.
Yeah,
that might be the
I have
easiest.
got questions. Yeah.
Yeah, we sort of
Yeah.
explained, but it's a bit difficult to explain, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, completely understand. Okay, so essentially what we do is completely automate your sales outreach. So whereas at the moment, if you find a show that you want to work, it's a very manual process for you to go through that floor plan or that exhibitor list, find all the marketing managers, the marketing directors of those companies, and then you're sending, manual emails over, you're sending LinkedIn connection requests and messages manually, and you're also calling them up to try and see if you can book meetings. So we essentially do all of that for you, and we have systems that can send out all of those emails automatically. They can find those decision makers, their contact details, send out the emails, and send out the LinkedIn connection requests and the messages. So then all you have to do is wait for somebody to reply, and then they're a warm lead for you to follow up on then.
So the actual reply, let me just get this right. So that you get to a stage then where that company, say it's I don't know, JCB, yeah, for argument's sake. So you get to the stage where you've gone in, you've got the contact, you've made the relevant, and it's then down to us to go in and sell ourselves.
No, it's even better than that. So we do that initial pitch for you, send an email saying something like, hey, look, we see that you're going to this show in 6 months' time.
Yeah.
Would you like to see a free concept stand design, or are you interested in, perhaps discussing your stand design options? And it's only when they've come back and said, yeah, that sounds interesting, can we set up a call? Or yeah, I'd love to see a concept design. That's when we hand them over to you, and then you just have to give them a ring and set the meeting up.
So basically what Steve explained to us last time is his system filters through, and if that person sends a reply saying like, oh no thank you, we're happy, we won't even know about that, because he'll just be like, basically his system is only gonna show us who's actually interested. So it's not wasting our time, I guess. So it'll filter through that, and then when it gets to the point basically of, oh, would you like to have a meeting about this with the people that are interested, that's then when we take over and do the meeting.
So if it's a meeting as such, it's just we'll have a meeting. It's not a positive we're looking for a stand and we're very interested. It's just come along.
No, it is basically like we're relatively interested to the point of they're saying, let's have a meeting with Coastal because we're interested in something ourselves.
How on a ratio is your leads, your turnarounds, what converts?
So
have you got
roughly
a percentage?
Every 100 emails that we send, we get one person come back with an interested reply. It takes a meeting, and then from there it more depends on your close rates from that point. So do you know of how many meetings you sit, how many of those turn into deals?
Ours is more difficult, because a lot of ours is agency. So
a lot of ours is agency, which is what we want to draw away from.
Right, I see.
But what I'm trying to say
direct, everything that we've been offered direct, we've got.
So yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. But that's only because that client is.
They've not known us through word of mouth,
You know what I mean?
Like
whereas
someone said, "Oh, try these," blah blah blah.
It's different from an email, from your perspective.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering. I mean, I come from a sales background anyway, or I've done sales in the past when I had another company, and we always used to use telesales people. And we were actually targeting schools, which is, it's like getting to the doctors, you know, you've got to get past the receptionist.
Yeah.
But our rate, because we used to do areas, cluster of areas, and our rate was, you know, it depended down to that salesperson. You know, you could put two people in the same area, one would come up like 80% and one would come up like 10%. But then we had a ratio of, who was our, we had the information then, who we were up against, other companies, and what we needed to do really to get ourselves more feasible, more acceptable by the client. So what information would you give back then? We wouldn't get anything. We would only get back from, so we wouldn't know what areas you were targeting or what companies you were targeting. We would only get back.
Well, that's then down to us. We've got to.
No, but I need to know what, I know what you're saying. We can convert it in, but it's like you could sit there and say, I've done 1,000, sent out 1,000 emails today, and I've got 2 back or 10 back or 20 back, and these are positive. But will we know what area you've targeted?
Yeah, because you'll have told us which show you want to work, and we'll have set up, okay, so this week we're going to be targeting this show, and I'll send you a list of all the companies that we managed to get that data from, and then when you get the email back, you'll know which company has replied. So you'll have that person's name, you'll have their email address, you'll have their company name as well. And then from that point, it's up to you to then close that deal, because obviously you guys are going to be the best at selling your service. You're the ones that know the ins and outs of it. It's just our job to kind of get you that meeting set up and get your foot in the door then.
Do you or have you, or does any of our local competitors use you? So is there any other exhibition companies in our area that have used you? That
I'm not sure about in your area, but I'm working with 3 other stand designers at the moment. So I'm also working with a company called, they do more kind of temporary walling for art galleries, things like that. So that's not quite the same. But
what was the writer then? Do you know offhand?
I can show you. Let me get the dashboard up here. There we go. Let me share my screen. So this is for event exhibition. We started sending out emails for these guys around the start of January. You can see we've sent out just over 15,000 in total, and we've generated them 46 opportunities from that.
Right. Okay. Okay. If there were certain shows, like, I don't know, say there was a show at the NEC, but we actually do 2 of our clients are on there, and not our clients direct, they're like agencies. You know the difference between the agencies, how they work with us, and direct clients, right? So we wouldn't want to step on their toes, because obviously we have contractual agreements with them. So then is there a way that you could not target the stands that we know they do? Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We don't do, we already do.
Like the ones that we were already doing, but like one of our agencies might have 10 stands on a show. We might only do one of them and the other 9 are done by somebody else, but we wouldn't necessarily know which companies they're building for, because we'd only know what we were building for.
Right, I see. Okay.
Do you see what I mean?
We'd have to know what they were doing though, because he's not going to know.
Yeah, but I was just wondering if because obviously when they apply for stand space or whatever it is, it's going to come up with an agency, like, or whoever it is. So maybe we would know, like, oh well, don't do any of what that company does, don't contact any of them, because our problem
you probably have to ask them who their clients are in that case, because when we get the lead list, we'll always send you that spreadsheet over so you can have a look through the companies on it and say, oh, we're already working with these guys, take them out. But of course we'd need to know which companies not to target,
because we might actually be messing with our own contracts.
You don't want that.
Because the only thing is, sometimes though the agency are doing it, but the client will book the stand space, so you might not necessarily know.
Well,
so there might be a slight overlap, but it's one of them. And then what are the chances that they're like, oh yeah, let's see anyway?
You'd never contact. I mean,
but if they were booked under the client's name and you didn't know that client worked for that agency, you're never wiser, are you? So
you ain't. But it's better to be prepared that you could lose clients over it than gain clients over it.
Yeah,
so
but I don't think the chances are very high.
Certain shows, we would have to say you can't target this, and this, because we know that's the stand. That's the stand.
That's fine.
So do you reckon then that from your initial sending out of emails to our initial meeting with a client, would you say it's on a time scale? Is it 2 weeks? Is it 6 weeks? Is it 6 months? Is it cats?
Sorry about that. I spend most of my day working with it. I spend most of my day working with a cat on my lap. Come on, you're too fat to sit on my lap. You're far too heavy. Go on. Sorry about that.
So how long would the turnaround be? How long do you think from when you send out your...
I mean, it really depends on the company. Sometimes, I'd say most of the time, actually, we send out emails and then the bulk of the positive responses come within a couple of days of the email going out. And then, it might be a few days to a week, say, of figuring out a time that works and actually sitting that meeting. But we have had instances as well where we've sent out emails and then somebody's come back to us, say 2 months later, and said, sorry, I didn't get back to you earlier. I was really busy at the time, but we're actually doing this show in the future. And, would be interested in talking. So email, in a lot of ways, it's almost like advertising and direct messaging rolled into one, because what a lot of people do these days is they'll just store any kind of marketing or sales emails into a separate folder, might not necessarily get back to you straight away, but then when they've got that need, instead of them hunting around for people, they'll just search in their email inbox and see if anybody's emailed them about it.
Yeah.
So the company that is it your company or is it?
It is,
It is you. So how long have you been established?
Since February of last year. So a year and 2 months now. Bloody hell, that's gone quick.
Yeah. So how did you find your initial database then? Because presumably, do you just do you just work for exhibition companies, or do you work for a whole scale of companies?
Yeah, so I work for companies in multiple industries. Events and exhibitions makes up my main client base because that's where my professional background is. So I used to work in the events industry, and that's how I got started, really, just because that was the industry that I knew. But yeah, we have branched out now. One of the things I was saying to Whitney actually is that I'm only taking on one more stand design client now, because obviously you're all going after the same pool of people.
Yeah.
So I don't want to take on, 10 exhibition stand companies,
Yeah.
and then you're all targeting the same shows, because then I'm just competing against myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, we've got mortgage brokers, we've got event organisers, we've got roofers. Every business needs sales, essentially.
Yeah.
I guess what you do, because I don't know if we like sort of mentioned this, it's hard to explain to you, because it's not Steve actually going along and sending all these emails, it's like AI.
Yeah.
So it's not actually physically him doing it, so he can do multiple different areas at once. So basically,
Yeah.
So like you say, you could do events, exhibitions, but you could also be doing, like you said, like roofs or building work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not actually your time of typing up and searching.
Yeah,
that's right.
but it was just like it was just the fact that I needed to get straight in my head that
he doesn't do like all the exhibition companies.
Like you just sat there doing mass emails, and it could be for us, like especially around this area there are lots of exhibition companies.
I
suppose it's because we were like close to the NEC, really. We're on the motorway link. But it's like we tend to not go after, because it's like there always used to be like a gentleman agreement that you wouldn't go after the same client, or if you got a client you wouldn't approach them, and that was it. But that sort of after COVID went out the window a little bit, and it turned to dog eat dog.
Yeah, chivalry's dead now.
You do find that like this is probably where we are now is probably 4 miles away from another exhibition company, and I'm thinking, well, if you're doing that for us, are we still paying money for Al Road, really? Because they could be doing it, them down the road could be doing it, them down the road could be doing it.
It's not like that.
So it's like, well, why are we paying for it? Because we still, you're sending the emails, but it's still in the same situation. But I mean, I know at the end of the day, it's us to convert that into a job. I do know that, but it's like, who are you targeting in this area? That's what I'm basically saying. Because if you were working for them down the road, them up there and them up there, it wouldn't be any use for us.
Yeah, we're not doing that. I mean? Yeah, don't worry.
Waste of time.
But if you build in shows in Europe as well, for example, or I mean, we can target any show. We could do ICE at Barcelona. We could do Bauma. So really, how close in proximity you are to other exhibition companies, I don't really think it would matter too much, because
for the Europe stuff, I guess it wouldn't.
It would really, it would, because certain exhibition companies, like you'll get exhibition companies that only do air shows and defence shows. That's all they want to do. You'll get other exhibition companies who only want to do the car shows, or you'll get certain ones that want to do medical, or you get certain ones that want to do stationery or something ridiculous like that. There's very few of us that actually do a multiple. We don't mind who we do. We don't just do one industry. We'll cover everything. But unfortunately, the exhibitions in this country, in this area, we all do the same. So it's different to like, an air show in Paris to an air show in Farnborough. We'd love to get into it, but we know there's an exhibition company in this vicinity that only do them two things. And so it is. But the way things are going with working abroad, visa situations, the American thing at the moment, we don't actually do a lot in this country.
It's costing so much money to work abroad now.
It is. It's
that even if we get the lead, the chances of us getting the job isn't very high, because say if it's in Germany, a German contract is going to be cheaper than we are, because obviously we've got to get flights to get everyone out there and that sort of thing. So when you add on all the visas and the ESTAs and the everything else,
I mean, really, we'd want
it's difficult, really, because you don't want to stop doing that, do we?
No, we don't want to stop doing that,
but also we don't want to get caught working abroad. Then everyone get banned from traveling, and then no one can work abroad.
It's just costing so much to get visas each time they go out. Like it's different for America because it's a 5-year visa. For Europe, it's every time you go. So if you've got 10 guys at £180 each guy to get the visa,
factor into the cost, and then that makes your job really expensive.
Too expensive. So we're happy with what we get. I'm not saying we're going to close the door on Europe or America.
Unless we get jobs that are already on that show. Because we're already going out there.
Do you know
what I see?
If you're doing one small job, you might do 3 small jobs.
Yeah, because you've already paid for the visa or
we
whatever.
found that that's quite a good way to approach clients, actually. Some of the most successful campaigns that we've run for our clients are saying, look, we're already building at this show here. Do you need any stand arrangements, or even as well, if you're going to be at say, I'm going to use Balmer as an example because I've literally just done this for a client. He's already at Balmer now.
So are we.
Oh, so are you? Okay. So we emailed all of the Balmer exhibitors saying, are you doing Con Expo? Because obviously it's the same industry. We're on site at Balmer. Can we come around to your stand and have a quick chat? And we've had, I think, about 8-9 people come back to us saying, yeah, we are doing Con Expo, and we need a stand. Can you come and speak to us? So there's all kinds of different ways. It doesn't necessarily have to just be we reach out 6 months before, because we can target people at a show. We can target people immediately after, saying, were you happy with your stand? Did it make you cry? Did you tear your hair out? Did you lose sleep over it?
I think that's like,
because this ain't for Fresh Group, is it?
Fresh
Group. Is your client Fresh Group?
No, this is Event Exhibition.
All right. Thank God then. Don't
ever work for Fresh Group.
Oh, okay, why not?
They don't pay.
Oh, I see. Right, okay.
They don't pay.
And they're not very organised.
They're not organised. No.
But anyway, so I think like for us as well, like when we got a couple of jobs on the same show, money wise as well, it also gives us a little bit more profit, doesn't it? Because we're already going there. You might have to put a few more lads on, but you've already got your transport going there, that sort of stuff. So that tends to work a bit better, because the way we work, Rob likes to split crews up. So even if we've got like 2 or 3 jobs on that show, each one will have their own crew, so they're not like, because obviously that stand of paid for like 4 guys to be there. They're not like, oh, you've got 4 guys like today and then tomorrow you'll have no one, because they're on a different job. They are like set to work in their little groups, aren't they? So that would be, so really that would work quite well, like, for us,
I mean, we could drop you a list of
I've got an email ready to send over to you
what we do abroad, but our target would be
I've got a few
NEC and Excel at the moment.
Rob sent a
hang on.
Sent me a bit of a list to send over to you to see like shows that he wants to target. There's one client in particular he wants to target as well.
Only because we know we've done this job in the past, but we've always done it for an agency. But we know this job is out to tender. And there's a couple of people there. So this would be one job that for you should be an easy task, to be honest, because we can tell
we've built it before and they're really happy with it. But it's just we're doing it through an agency, and then COVID hit basically, so the people that were working for that agency didn't work there anymore. So now
honestly, for something like that, I would recommend that you actually give them a call rather than do a cold email to them.
We've done that, but we don't get the
I don't think it's finding the person.
It's finding the person,
the direct person, do you know what I mean?
And I think it's for you, it would be an easier thing, because it's like really we're giving you the carrot, ain't we? Really, if you turn it into a stew, that's brilliant. But I
get because for us it's like you can get the name. We've so many times from other people, other exhibition companies, whatever, have been given the name of someone. Oh, this is the person you need to speak to about. They deal with the stand, the advertisement, but trying to speak to that person is like, literally through LinkedIn. I get a little bit further through that because it's a bit more personal, isn't it? But it's like if you leave emails, you call, you whatever, they're just, I don't know. Sometimes they're not.
We were trying to
find that person who's in charge of that job. Sometimes you can be doing it for about 2-3 years and you still never know who the person is.
I mean, we actually did think the middle of last year about taking salespeople on, and we even went down the road to actually interviewing people. But we just got enough work to tick over, so it was we weren't going to look at it that but we've come to a point now because we want to steer away a little bit from agencies because they're just like,
well, you can do it that year and the next year you might not be doing it, they find someone cheaper to do it,
and
so it's a bit like
that job is only as good as they're
and also they could then lose the job as well.
You
lost it through them.
Well, if you think about it this way, we could send up to 10,000 emails a month. And if you think of the number of staff that you'd have to bring on in order to be sending out that kind of volume, it's far more cost effective than hiring people. And the AI is never going to take a day off sick or go on maternity leave or anything like that.
It's just like the agency thing. They're just, some of them are just not organised. So you're putting your business in their hands and your good name because the clients will only see all these guys with coastal exhibitions on their backs, and it'll be, I don't want them. But it might not be that
you haven't done the organisation. That's the thing.
Somebody else has already done it. So that's why our driving force of what we want to do and why we should use you is to basically clear away from agencies. And to be honest, it'd seal us, our commitment to you and you to us, that if we did get some jobs out of this, obviously we would look for jobs wouldn't we? Else I'd sack you straight away.
Exactly. But touch wood, we've still retained all of our original clients. We've never lost a client yet. And at the end of the day, they wouldn't keep paying us if we weren't getting them their return on investment. So where are you looking to grow to, job wise and revenue wise, like a number of jobs per month and yearly revenue? Where are you at now and where are you hoping to get to?
To be honest, I don't know whether Rob and Whitney spoke about this. I don't know whether the world in general has changed since Mr. Trump has done all his bits and bobs. Do you know what I mean? I mean, the industry. I mean, Rob's in Munich at the moment, and there's a guy there who works for an agency, and they've just lost a massive big job in the States. Just they're ready to go, and they've just pulled the plug on it. There will be a repercussion of that throughout of our industry because people are going to be saying, "Oh, well, steel, that's going to affect cars, it's going to affect manufacturing," and then everybody will come up with a list, and they're making it totally impossible to export stuff, and so the market is a bit unsteady anyway at the moment. But really, like last year, we were busy, and if you'd come last year, we'd have said there's no way we can fit anybody in, so there's no point in us doing it. This year is totally different because some of our agencies have lost jobs, and to be honest, they don't care because there's somebody else they're going to get.
Well, they're getting the money up front as well, aren't they? We're getting it like second hand. And we're outputting a lot more money for buying materials and paying labour.
We always have to.
They're not really.
But client-wise, it's a lot. Like, they don't really care if they've lost 2 clients, which has happened to us. It was an agency. They lost the clients, not us. They lost the clients. So we've lost them.
So you end up paying the consequences for it.
And especially if it's a job that goes into 3 times a year, every single year,
that's a lot.
That's a lot over the. If it's
Yeah.
something you're just like, oh yeah, in May we do blah blah blah, and you've just done that for years and years, and when you haven't got it, it's like, oh, well, what we're going to do now,
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah. So you need to kind of take your sales into your own hands now and start. Right.
It is like having that little bit more control, really, because then you're dependent on yourself in a way, which is quite nice. Because then also you're talking directly to the client, saying like, well, you already know if that's going to happen next year or not straight away. You're not waiting until a month before to know, are we doing it? Aren't we doing it? Which
I mean, we never want to be, as a company, we never want to be like running around ragged like headless chickens. You know what I mean?
Say we wanted
but we'd like,
I don't know.
at this moment in time this year, we have actually seen probably the first time for 7-8 years, my God, we've got nothing in this month, or we've got nothing in this month, or do you know what I mean? We've always had jobs that follow on, that follow on, that follow on. Which is why Rob's done the email that Win will send to you of things that we want to target.
Yes, it'll be like it's specific jobs that either we want to do because of the time of year that it is, because we're more quiet there, or it's just stuff that we've heard of before and thought, oh yeah, we'd like to do something there.
Like that. When you say specific jobs, are you talking about shows or
sorry,
right, okay,
yeah.
There is a couple specific companies on there, but they are when you read the email, you'll understand. If not, you can just message me back and I'll explain to you. Because we put on there some like Don't Chase, like BMP is on there, Arvel, because we already do those, or we know that our client does those. And then on there he said like important ones to target MUFG at Cybos, because that's one that he really wants to get, that we've done before. So
I see. For those individual companies, I would probably recommend that you reach out to those personally, because for cold email like this, it's something that you do at scale. It's a numbers game at the end of the day. And it's great for reaching out to new businesses and starting to kind of fill up your pipeline. But if you've already got a past relationship with a specific company and you know that you can do a good job for them, that's where I'd say that a phone call or a personally written email would be more effective.
We might have done it in the past, but we don't do it now. So I guess you wouldn't just like contact, like I can see from Rob's email here, like he's got like the CV show. So the CV show, that's at the NEC, but he's got Do Not Approach, BMP and Arvel. BMP is because we do that for somebody else, a client. But then could you approach everybody else in that?
Except them.
Or is yours just a blanket?
Yeah, we can remove any companies that you're already working with. That's not a problem.
But I think what he means is when us saying like MUFG, it's going to be like a blanket cover of all the people apart from the ones that we don't want. So it's going to be generic, whereas MUFG might look at that and think, oh, generic email, kind of like, not like show it off.
Oh, you just couldn't target MUFG, is what you're saying, that company?
Well, we could, but it would be the same email that goes out to every other company. So whereas for MUFG, an email saying, look, we've done a job for you before, we did it at this show this year, you were really happy with it. We'd like, we know that it's out for tender and we'd like to show you a concept design. It's very, very tailored to that company.
So that would be like very specific. That one email.
But we couldn't send that same email at scale to every other company because it's not true for all the other companies on the list.
So for MUFG, realistically though, I could have a look on LinkedIn and do some digging and see if I can get to the right person just for that one. But because we need to.
But you know all the contact for MUFG.
No, his AI does it. Goes through. It doesn't know off the top of his head.
No, but you wouldn't be able to find out the contact, would you? Through your.
We could certainly run it through the system and try. I mean, like I say, with cold email, it is a numbers game. So our AI systems, they're not going to find every decision maker for every company at every show. It might be that we find half the people. From and we get 50% hit rate, but even that is still thousands of emails every month that are going out, which is thousands more than you're doing at the moment.
Yeah, well, if you could find MUFG for us, that would be very nice just to contact me. And we'll let you know. We'll let you know how that goes. But anyway, right, yeah. So, how much then does this all cost?
So did you see the proposal that I sent over the other week? No. Okay.
I like to keep things totally on a blank canvas if I have to.
Okay. You like a surprise then?
Yeah.
So this is 2975 setup, and then we've got two options for you on the monthly retainer. It can either be 1,200 a month, or it can be 800 a month, and then £150 commission per brief that we get you.
So 800 and then per brief. So what does that mean? You tell me. What am I expected? So what would I get for my 1,200?
So that is us A/B testing all of your email copy, experimenting with it, finding what has the best reply rates, what's getting you the most meetings booked. And that's an ongoing process. And then also kind of running and maintaining the system, scraping the data that you need for all the different shows that you're going to work, setting up schedules to make sure that people are getting emails at the times that you want them to get them. So, 8 months before the show, 6 months before the show, then 3 months before, however you want to work it.
Right, and what's 800 then? What do I get for 800?
All of the same, and then it's just plus 150 commission per brief that we get you. I mean, some companies that we work with, they like us to have a bit of skin in the game because they think it makes us work harder.
Yeah, I agree with that.
By brief, do you mean like they've said, yeah, let's have a meeting?
Yeah, so that's what it is. So it's per meeting
client then, yeah.
Yeah, so per meeting that we book you, where they provide you with a brief of the stand that they want, we would class that as a selling opportunity for you guys, and so that would be the 150 commission per one of those meetings. What I will say though is that does tend to be the more expensive option for our clients.
I can imagine it does, but then, as you say, if it makes you, I mean, if you signed up for 800 for 2 months.
Mm-hmm. And then said, "Oh, this is costing way too much."
Actually, they're so good. Let's just go for 1,200. Is that a possibility?
Well, I don't know. That's you've made your bed. You have to lie in it if you choose the commission option.
No, you can't be doing that, Lee. We're going to be your favourite customers. One of the most annoying. I don't know.
Most challenging.
Yeah, most challenging.
But it's the
one
same
thing I will say. It does take us 4 weeks to set the system up because we've got to buy all of your domains, set your mailboxes up, and we've also got to warm them up as well, so that we can bypass spam filters and make sure that those emails are being delivered to people's inboxes and not going into their spam folders. So that process does take 4 weeks. So I'd say if you could give us a minimum of 3 months before you make any decisions about whether it's working for you or not. Obviously, look, I'm not going to take you to court or anything. I can't be bothered with all of that. So if you want to cancel, you can, but we find that after 3 months, that's when we've got things set up. We found what copy is working for you, and that's the point where we're consistently bringing you meetings in.
Yeah. And also one thing I didn't tell you is when stuff gets sent out from our company, which is the AI, Steve said he can put like our tagline and stuff at the bottom, so it looks like it's a real person. You can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we can set up signatures on the emails.
Yeah. So it doesn't look like it's a robot sending it. It looks like it's actually
that was another thing I was going to say,
because it's it looks better, doesn't it?
Yeah,
because obviously we get it all the time for automated emails and you're like, leave me alone.
yeah exactly. No, all of our emails look human written. You wouldn't be able to tell that it was sent on an automated basis. One other thing as well, how many contacts do you have in your system at the moment? Because that could be a way to get you some quick wins. If you've got a database of say 3,000 companies already who've heard of you before and you've had some contacts with, then we could send emails to all of those as well. And
we could ask Rob, because again it's a bit awkward because a lot of them agencies own them as such, so they've won the tender, but then they lose those jobs. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Don't they? So then we're not doing it. So then there is chance that we could go after them, but we'd have to have the conversation, because individual companies we would be like, oh yeah, we wouldn't mind, but other ones we'd be like, no, that would rock the boat with that agency, and then we don't want to lose.
Right.
So
Okay.
we can think about that and let you know as we go.
Mhm.
Like that MUFG, I know, like that is one that Rob was like, yeah, I don't really care if I rock the boat on that one, but a lot of the others, I don't think I don't know, we wouldn't like a lot of Nest stuff. We wouldn't want to, because then I don't know. Even though it's jobs that they've lost, they wouldn't be happy if we were then doing it.
I don't know. I think you could if they've lost the job.
And that's what I think. It depends.
Never too long. Sounds like fair game to me.
Yeah. Then
I think it depends why they've lost it. Like Baxi, they lost that because Baxi thought that Nest were rude and didn't like the way that they worked. That was nothing to do with us. So it's like, yeah, they're never working with them again.
But that's the agency. But then we get
the agency,
because we've done the job. We get caught with that.
Yeah,
the same thread.
Yeah, like with that, I found the guy who does the advertisement for Baxi Boilers, messaged him on LinkedIn. He just didn't even reply.
Yeah.
Because he thinks we're part of them and thinks, oh well, you were all rude, even though it wasn't really us, it was the agency's
talk. I mean, this is the problem with working with agencies, is it's just another variable that's outside your control.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But yeah.
So I think then we'll go for, I don't know now whether we should do the 1200 for 3 months or do the 800 for 3 months and then up it to the 1200.
You could do that.
Would that cause you a problem?
Is it a one or the other situation though? That's.
I would have to say that it's a one or the other, because obviously, you know, if you just pay us 800 until we start bringing you enough meetings that it would cost you more, then there's
So let's all right then. Let's go for the 1200.
Mm-hmm.
That setup cost includes the first month, doesn't it, as well?
That's
the setup cost includes the first month.
What it is. Yeah.
So it's only one of those, 2 of those for the 3 months, and then really that's when the ball's really going up.
Shouldn't it?
About 3 months time.
And then,
which is good though, because then that means everything for next year is already in the pipelines by the end of this year, which is good timing, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, because there's still a lot of shows left this year that you could target to be like, oh, next year. If you sent that email before or around the time of the show and they do have a terrible show and their stands hopefully falling apart, then they might see our email.
They always say the best time to target a show is for straight after
the show,
because there's going to be
some people are
nightmares,
angry and annoyed, and
we have found that actually, reaching out to people just after a show it gets a decent amount of responses.
Well, we had a direct client come in the other day, just again word of someone, it was like a word of mouth to us, just a company, and they came in and said, oh, we always do our own stand, like we do it ourselves, but it's so stressful, it's so time consuming and tiring, we thought we'd give it someone else a go for them to try and build it for us, just because we don't have the time anymore. So it's kind of like they've never worked with an exhibition company, they've just done it themselves, but they're like, oh, it's last time, it's so tiring and exhausting, we can't pay someone to do it. So I think around that after a show is probably a good time to do it, because then that's when they're thinking, God, we can't do this by ourselves, or God, we can't work with them again,
or it's fell down, or it's got condemned before it was anything.
Oh, God.
Not their eyes.
Oh, we're going to extremes here.
Right, well, the next steps then would be, I'm going to send you over an invoice now for the setup fee. If you can get that paid for me, then we'll set up another meeting to have an onboarding call. We'll discuss what shows that you're looking to target, and we'll get you set up on the software systems that we're going to use as well. Like I said, it will take 4 weeks to set up. And then after that, we can start sending out emails for you. As I say, up to 10,000 a month we can send out. So don't be shy about sending over, as many shows as you like, really.
Yeah.
What Rob has sent some that he'd like you to target. So for us, probably these better be done sooner rather than later after you've.
Well, I can send that over whenever, and then it's there for you to input into your system, isn't it? And then if we want to send you more as we go, we can, and you can just enter it in, but at least that gives you something to get started with, I guess. I know
exactly.
it still takes a few weeks, but
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah,
I mean,
we can get started scraping the data for you straight away.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
But I mean, to be honest, we don't mind like any shows, like any.
A lot of these are just stuff that we don't really do anything on, or we haven't, or we've only got one job on, and we think, oh, we've got enough guys, so we could easily do 2 or 3 on that show.
Yeah.
So,
but it's not just them. I mean, anything,
a lot of those we don't do anything on, so that will be every person on that show we can target. Which is quite
anything like any show, really. I would say just go blanket.
So you're not working with specific industries or anything like that, then?
No, we'll just do anything. I think Rob's only did these specific ones because he said obviously because we're thinking they might be like smaller jobs, which is still fine though. Then the NEC is a bit closer to us, makes it a bit more cost effective. But it's not a no to anything anywhere anyway in the UK, really.
Yeah.
Or even there'll be certain jobs abroad which Rob will say,
I mean, there might even be shows that we don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if we said
there's hundreds of shows out there.
Yeah. If we said to you, just do it,
just blanket it. But then these are some that are like, we want to, just to give you an idea, really, I guess.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine with us. Whitney, I've sent that invoice across to you now. Has that come through to you? Sent it to your email?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Make sure I put the right email address on it.
Yeah, that's it, but it hasn't come through yet.
Maybe check your spam folder for me in case it's gone in there. Should be from Stripe.
No.
No.
That's weird.
You spell everything right.
It's going to see you've sent me emails before.
Yeah.
Do you want to send it to accounts?
Or send it to accounts, which is
accounts.
Right. Okay.
Try that.
Let's try this.
That's weird. That hasn't come through though. I've had emails come through this morning because Rob's emailing someone now.
Where did you work for? What company did you work for before?
I worked for a company called B2B Events. And I was the exhibition sales manager for a show called Beauty West Africa, which was the largest beauty show in Africa. So I got to go to Nigeria and meet the mayor of Lagos, which was quite random, but very cool.
That is random.
What made you leave? Why did you leave then?
It wasn't an easy decision because I absolutely loved that job. It was the closest thing to a dream job for me, really, because I love to travel, and the traveling there was fantastic. But I'd just been looking into AI, and I saw how much of my job could be automated. And then also we were all working in the same office, so I was seeing how marketing worked, how finance worked, how much of their jobs could be automated as well, but also learning how business worked as a whole. And I thought, you know what, I'm young, now's the time to take a risk, really. So I just started my own business.
Oh, well done.
It's a good concept though, to be honest. But like you said, you'd only be limited on how many customers you could have. Like you said, otherwise you're like fighting with yourself. But then if you're not set down to just exhibition, if you do any sector you wanted, which you could, then you're not pinned down to anything, are you?
Yeah, that's right. And I've brought on a couple of my friends now to help me on the sales side of things. So I'm kind of tapping into their experience in whatever industries they've worked in before, and just saying, look, you speak their lingo, you know what problems they face. If you can sell to them, then go for it.
Yeah.
I got the email now.
Oh, you did? Oh, right, okay. I was just sending that across again.
There we go. I'll forward it to
Jane
then, and then she can pay it for you.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm looking forward to working with you both. I think this is going to be really successful for you.
Yeah. Winnie will send that email through with all the shows.
Just I know you've got set up and everything, but at least you get a bit of an idea of the kind of thing that we're. And like you said, it's not just restricted to these. Just go for. I think just go for everything, apart from the ones that we're not. But we put on there that don't do these specific ones, but everything else, I think just Go for it.
Yeah, just go for anything.
Anyway, but
apart from the ones that
you
we
just
said
never
no.
know, do you? What
No.
could come up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys are my last UK stand design company.
Good.
You've got in at the last minute. Yeah.
If you do that MUFG,
Mm-hmm.
if you do find any, or you've just done that show as a blanket and you've sent it us, we could probably pick that up, pick the email up, and then try and get hold of that person, because I know Rob's really particular. I think it's a vendetta job, to be honest. It is never really good, is it?
But I mean, I'll have a look on LinkedIn. Sometimes it's easy to find the right person on LinkedIn, sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
No.
So I haven't actually had a look yet, because this is only a recent vendetta that's come up. So I'll have a look and then
because
see.
I do think for a company like that, you would be better off with a with a human written, really personalised email highlighting the jobs that you've done before for them.
Yeah.
And I have found that through LinkedIn, people are a bit more responsive. Like Rob sent emails to people before, and they haven't replied, and I found them on LinkedIn. And I thought, well, I'm just gonna message them on there and say, oh, we sent you an email, just wondering if you sort of got it. And yeah, it sparked up a whole conversation. And then the other week we went down to London to meet one of the guys that we'd spoke to anyway, and it was just like that email though. Rob had sent 3 over a whole year, no response. And then I just messaged him on LinkedIn and was like, hi, I've sent you some emails. Like, oh, sorry, I've been really busy. Yeah, basically what do you want? And then had a whole conversation, set up our own meeting with him. So it does work through LinkedIn.
Yeah.
It's a bit more direct, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's why we do both email and LinkedIn, because we find that they have a really good synergy together. And our approach is pretty much exactly like you said, where we'll send emails to people and then run a LinkedIn campaign saying, hey, not sure if you saw my email, but just wanted to connect with you kind of thing. Yeah, it does work. We've booked quite a few meetings through LinkedIn directly.
Yeah. And I think it is because with us, obviously there's me, you and Rob up here, so it's the people that you're speaking to. If you come here from meeting over camera, it is the person that you're speaking to. And obviously with LinkedIn, it's your profile, so they know what you look like, they know your name. I think it's quite important that that is the person. It's not 10 other people in here, you don't know who's who. I think people quite like that, don't they?
Yeah.
And we've even found a way recently where you can send automated voice messages to people on LinkedIn.
Oh, that's weird. What's it sound like though?
No, so you still record it,
but
then it's just sent to everybody automatically. And well, there is an option as well to have AI clone your voice too, which is pretty cool. I'd say it's 95% of the way there. I don't know if I would want to start sending out messages like that for clients just yet, but it's very odd, but it is almost there.
Again though, that's really personal, and people actually like personal part about it, don't they? It does seem to get some people hook, line and sinker. So but yeah,
right, I'll go and pay your invoice.
You need that.
Brilliant. So when would be best for you for this onboarding call? I'm thinking
when's Rob back? Let me have a look. So I think if all 3 of us are in it, then we're not having multiple. Where's the calendar? Multiple meetings then, which makes it a bit easier. It's just because we've been a bit busy these last couple of weeks, haven't we, trying to get stuff, and then we've just had that Balmer job, which has been a headache for everyone involved. Sorry, just loading this up. So Rob's back on what's the date today? He's back tonight, so tomorrow. Then you're off that week, aren't you? I swear Rob said, because we're off for Easter, but Rob said that you, or is it that week?
I don't know. I can't think.
Do you want to do it middle of next week?
Yeah, I think sooner rather than
that's this week.
Does that yeah, we could do it this week. Would that work for you if we did it this week, or is that too soon?
No, that's fine by me. I was thinking Thursday.
The 10th.
Thursday.
Thursday 10th.
Yeah.
I can do between sort of 10:30 and 2.
Shall we go for 10:30 then? Let's get it done.
10:30, yeah. Okay, brilliant. And even these couple of days in the meantime, don't think that it's wasted time, because we're going to be, on that data that you send over, scraping that. We're going to be setting up your domains, your mailboxes, starting the warm-up process. So it will be kind of all actions a go from now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's do that then.
Sending you this calendar invite across now.
Thank you.
Should I send it to accounts as well?
Yeah, and Rob's,
And
because
okay.
probably use Rob's laptop in the boardroom. It's a bit easier because we're like squished behind this desk at the minute.
Okay, cool.
And then when Rob gets, we're going to speak to Rob tomorrow about some other bits anyway, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we'll let him know that we actually went ahead with it.
Surprise!
Surprise!
It's no surprise.
It's not a bad surprise, though, surely. Okay, lovely. Thank you. We'll speak to you on Thursday.
And when I'll send
I'll send that email over now, just so you've got it.
Yeah, brilliant. Has that payment link worked on Stripe?
I will actually do it on.
You can do it through Stripe though. It's sometimes easier.
I don't know what it is. Mine don't like it. Would it be a problem if I did it through Backs?
No, that's fine. Yeah, I can send you the account details. Yeah.
Yeah, because my banking system don't like Stripe. I've tried a couple of times. It just won't go through. I don't know what it is. I think it's because
but then my computer doesn't like doing bank transfers. No, it likes doing Stripe.
Antiquated, isn't it?
Okay, let me make
an
invoice for you.
If you do that, then you'll have Steve's email, so you can just email him so it's paid then, can't you?
Yeah.
And then I'll email you that stuff over, and then we're up to date then until Thursday.
I'll literally do it now. It'll go straight in.
Okay, brilliant. I will just create an invoice for you now then, and I'll get that straight over to you.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you very much, guys. I'm looking forward to working with you.
Yeah,
me too.
Right.
See you soon.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.